This is the time to deal with butternut squash. We've had such a bounty in this area. Voila. Been talking about how to use it, how to get into it, cut it, roast it, saute it, bake it. Let's talk a little bit about how to freeze it. Now, know on the front end that this is a winter squash and it's a good keeper. So you are not compelled to freeze it if you do not have the time. It actually improves in quality. After it's been harvested, it improves in quality for a while before it begins to go downhill. So it's a great keeper. But if you decided, for instance, that you like to have a lot of pureed squash, if you're using it in soups and baking, you may want to have an afternoon where you just go through and you just bake and puree all kinds of butternut squash and then put it in a little container and freeze it. So this is what's happened with this one. This little guy was washed and then sliced, cut open, seeds taken out and baked, and you can see it's very soft, squishy, wonderful color. You can even kind of smell it. It's sweet. You can just smell it. I was almost beginning to caramelize in the pan. Then you put it in your food processor, get it nice and down to a puree stage, and then it's ready to put into your freezer containers. Now, I recommend this. If there are recipes that you use regularly and you know that you need 2 cups or 3 cups or a half cup, then you freeze according to that amount. So that when you pull a container out of the freezer, you know you have what you need for your pumpkin bread or for your squash soup. Now, I say pumpkin bread because winter squash and pumpkin are all in the same category, and the purees can be used interchangeably. So if you come across a recipe that you really like and this is pumpkin puree or canned pumpkin, no problem using your pureed butternut squash. So if you do quite a bit of that kind of cooking, it really is a good idea to spend an afternoon baking, pureeing, and putting things in the freezer. That is one way to freeze it. This is another way. This has been sliced and peeled. The peel is off, very important. The peel is off and cubed. If you have recipes that you would like to save this kind of thing for, like dropping it into a soup at the last minute where, well, not quite the last minute, it takes a few minutes to cook, but not overcook. You may want to, on a day when you have the time, this all involves time, and so this is one of your your deciding factors. When you have the time, you may want to cut these up into the size cubes that you use in your soup or your stew. If you're going to freeze them like that, bring a big pot of water to boiling, drop your cubes in and boil. You're blanching them is the term. Boil for 3 minutes. 4 minutes if you live above 5,000 foot elevation. At the end of the 3 or the 4 minutes, pull the cubes out, drain them basically, and drop them into an ice bath. You want to stop that cooking action and chill them quickly. Then spread them on a cookie sheet, after they've been drained, of course. Spread them on a cookie sheet, put them in the freezer until they are set up, and then pop them loose and put them in some kind of freezer containers. Then all you have to do is pull them out and drop them into your soups and stews. Pretty cool. Pretty cool. But this puree business is really what I recommend as a baker. I mean, it's just really handy to be able to pull something out and say, okay, let this thaw out through the afternoon because I am going to make a cream of squash curried soup tonight. Oh. Yes, let's have that. Okay, so those are suggestions on how to freeze butternut squash. Good luck.